In this example, we're given a table that has some coordinates of points on a line, and we're asked to then find the slope of the line and fill in the missing coordinates in the table. So the first thing that we'll do to find the slope of the line is to take two of the ordered pairs and use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this case, I'll call a negative 8y2, so negative 8 minus negative 6 over 10 minus 9, which is negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. So what this slope tells us is, as x increases by 1, y decreases by 2. So we'll go over a couple of options for filling in the table. The first option is to determine what delta y or delta x is between two consecutive points. And so in this case, between the 20 and the 16, we'll start with 16. So 16 minus 20 is negative 4. And so we'll say delta y is negative 4. Next, we're going to write a ratio because we know that the slope of a line is the change in y over change in x. We're going to fill in the information that we know. So the slope is negative 2. Delta y we just found to be negative 4. And delta x is unknown. We can place negative 2 over 1 and solve using a proportion. So cross multiply. That gives us negative 2 delta x is equal to negative 4. And then divide both sides by negative 2. Okay, so that tells us that delta x is positive 2. So that's not going to be what this next coordinate is. It is going to be how I get there, though. So I take negative 4. I add 2, or whatever the change in x is, and find that this missing coordinate is negative 2. Notice when we take our delta y, which is negative 4 in this case, and divide by our delta x, which is positive 2, we should get the slope of negative 2. We're going to try to find the delta x between these 2 points. And so that's negative 1 minus negative 2, or delta x is positive 1. So we fill in this information in this equation. We get delta y, which is currently unknown, over delta x, which is positive 1. And luckily, this equation is easy to solve because if I just multiply by 1 on both sides, I still get that delta y is negative 2. And now this tells me how my y should change. So subtract 2 from 16 to get this missing y coordinate of 14. Well, another option is to fill in a more complete table and just kind of pick out the entries that are needed. And so I start at negative 4 and I increase by 1 every time. And because our slope is negative 2, I know that as x increases by 1, that y decreases by 2. So from 20, I'll subtract 2. And so I get 18, 16, just continue subtracting 2, 14. Okay, so I locate a y value of 16 in my table, and I write down the corresponding x value, which is negative 2. I know an x value of negative 1 is given, and its corresponding y value is 14.